Welcome. My name is Steve George and I'm glad you are here. This video is the first in a three-part series about adding custom tables into the Gold client configuration. In this first video, the focus will be on identifying which custom tables may be relevant to Gold client. In the second video, content will be provided to help the user understand where in the configuration to add custom tables, and we will explore some examples of various table relationships and dependencies. The final video will center around the various methods for deploying the config changes. Additional resources will be provided in the final video to supplement the content shared in this video series. The agenda for this video is quite simple. I will first provide content that should help your organization filter the custom tables in your SAP system so that you can identify a list of those custom tables which may be relevant to Gold client. After that, some advice will be provided for evaluating and potentially reducing the number of custom tables that need to be added. Let's get started. The typical SAP database may contain 100,000 tables or more, but only a small subset of them actually store application data. These tables almost always utilize the attributes that I will describe on the following slides. The first is that they are client-dependent tables. Here's an example using table BUT000 where we can see the client field in the first position. The second attribute is that the table type is transparent, cluster, or pooled. However, it is worth noting that in S/4HANA, SAP has stopped using the cluster and pooled table types, so keep this in mind with respect to the SAP solution your team is running. The next attribute is that the table's delivery class assignment is A, which SAP defines as Application Table, Master and Transactional Data. All three attributes are visible when displaying a table via T-codes SE11 or SE12. They are also visible by querying table DD02L via T-code SE16 or SE16N. The capture on this slide shows these three attributes as inputs for querying table DD02L. Using these attributes, while being sure to include your custom namespaces such as Y* and Z*, should return a few hundred or at most a couple thousand tables, depending on how much customization has been applied to your organization's system. Once you have the list of custom tables, determine whether data exists, since it is possible that some of the tables created have no data. You might be surprised how many times various organizations have abandoned the solution for some reason after it had been developed. Your basis or DBA team should be able to execute the query and provide the record counts. Tables which have no data can be removed from the list of tables. However, if the tables are newly created and do not yet have data, then they should not be removed from your list. Also, if your organization has a significant number of custom tables, then knowing the record counts may be useful in driving priority. For example, tables with the most data may be the ones the team chooses to focus on first. Once the list of custom tables has been pared down by removing those which have no data, it is time for your SAP team's data experts to review each custom table to determine whether its data should be copied or not. It is possible that the team may reach one of the following conclusions. The data is obsolete. The data is not technically obsolete, but copying it provides no meaningful value. The data is environment specific and so should not be copied from one client to another. If any of these conclusions are reached for a given table, then it should be removed from your list. This will help reduce the number of tables which potentially need to be added into the Gold client config. To summarize the preceding content, this table shows the various filters being applied to help identify custom tables which are potentially relevant to the Gold client configuration. Some hypothetical numbers have been included to provide examples about the impact of the various filters. Since every SAP system has its own unique customizations, only after performing these various filters will your team's number of potential tables come into view. We have now reached the end of this video, and I hope that you found it useful. This content represents an important first step because it determines the scope of work for this configuration activity. When ready, be sure to watch the other two videos so that you can understand the remaining steps in this process.